Well, that looks like a problem that we need to get a handle on. Well, there, the passenger side, it looks like it's been on and off quite a few times, the door panel, so it's missing parts. So I'm jumping over here to the passenger side to show you how to start getting the panels off. It's real easy. You got this assembly here. You can use a screwdriver, whatever. Comes right off. Then you're going to have a text right there. Ain't sure what number that is. It might be a 25. Then you got to take this panel off. Now it clips upward. So you pull it from the bottom and pull downward. So if you look up here, you see what I mean. It's designed to be pushed up, and it just broke off. This is what happens when you get stuff that's 20 years old. So you might be replacing plastic parts trying to put this all back together. That's probably why I'm missing parts on the other side. When they was taking them apart, they just broke on it. So that's in there, but it's not sitting there right. You gotta replace the clips. Then the next thing you do, this piece here, you just turn them. That's out of your way now. And let's see, I'm trying to remember if there was one other screw. Yeah, there's one other screw right in here. So you gotta take this screw out. And then this panel just lifts up. I'll show you on the other side when I take that one off. So I'm gonna put this one back together, because we don't have to get in this one today. And then we can go work on the other side, but you know how to access it. Just the other side's missing these parts. Okay, so like I said, this is missing those pieces. Only heaven knows where they are. But once you get those pieces out, you get these screws out. This door didn't even have those screws in. You just come over and you lift this right up. But before you lift it up, so then you lift this up. Push those connectors right through. There's 1, 2, 3. Now normally, this piece would be connected right in there. So you kind of have to reach in there, push this inward to unclick it. It just goes. We're going to try to reconnect it. Why was it connected? Don't know. And that leads us to this part here, where basically we're just going to pop these off. We already got the door handle off, but if you had the door handle still on, you would have to unscrew it here. I'll show you when I install the new one in there. It looks like someone cut this open already. This is smaller, usually a much smaller open you're working with. But this had to get cut open for some reason. And this ain't a original part. So basically, we're just replacing this upper part right here today. Okay, well, we got 3 cameras today we're playing with. see which one works. We got a little bit of lighting conditions challenging. So we want to learn a little, see how our cameras go. So if you see a lot of switching photos, that's why we're playing with 3 cameras, and hopefully we can make the most out of it to get you from all the angles to show you this better. Well, I haven't done this too often, so it'll be a little bit scratching my head while I'm doing this. I also found out the power door locks ain't working. So that's another issue involved here. Matter of fact, this door never locked from what I understand. So we're looking into all those issues. So the first thing to do is to get the part that's not being friends with us out right now. Not sure if it's the T20, T30. It's not this one though. T30. You tend to have 3 items that you got to play with when you're changing these. Actually, sometimes 4. The lock mechanism from outside, the door release lever that opens it up. On the inside, you got the door release lever, and you got the locking mechanisms. This one's an electric door lock. More common nowadays. So you got your whole assembly that comes apart. You got 2 screws here, and there's how your power door lock attaches to this piece. Gotta get your electric out there. Here's a new piece. I believe it goes right like that. Seems to fit in. It's just not this electric door lock that's working, it's none of them are working. And I'm not even sure why at the moment. That's pretty easy right there. What I should have done, and I didn't, is physically compare them where I had them apart. Sometimes there's slight differences, but looks like we saved this time. In the past, I have been in a hurry and installed a new part, not realizing it's not quite the exact right part. Been having to leave this truck open in the rain or climb over the seats if I wanted to close the window. Of course, they've been using that screwdriver to get this thing open and closed. Well, there we go. We no longer have to use a screwdriver to hold the door open. Still a little bit of issues though. When you gotta take your finger and open the door like that, we gotta do a little more work to get a handle on this problem. So we have a new replacement handle. And what happens a lot of these is a high quality plastic, not. And this plastic tends to break, and when that happens, it no longer opens the door. Okay, so we have this handle. When you put it in there, you can see the latch plate that this would have to be behind. This would catch it right there. That is the piece we want to be behind with that. So, slide it in there. You bring this into here. So you pull far back as you can. You push the latch forward, and you can kind of wiggle it behind it. At that point, make sure you stay behind it. At that point, you can just start bringing this forward. You could probably also take the screw off on the inside of this piece here and get this in position, but I just hate springs flying around all over the place, so I'm just kind of weaseling it in this way. So I use this to line it up, holding my body in place. Doing a retaining bolt. This is not the factory screw, that's long gone. So we're going to try to close this again and open it with the handle. That's probably the first time in a few years. Okay, so it closed correctly. This plastic piece in here seems like it's hanging up. I worked it a few times, see if that freed it up. So it's working. This is also an Amazon. Rock Auto had a more expensive part that looked like it was better quality, and I ordered it, and they said it was discontinued. So I went with the cheap Amazon one, and it looks like I'm regretting it right now. So if you're going to do this, I'm kind of thinking you might want to try shop around for maybe a little higher quality one than the one from Amazon. I will keep this in here and I'll report a little later to see how if it wears in. I'm going to spray a little lube in there, so hopefully that'll work a little bit. But we see what happens. We see. I'm going to put a little lube in there, and yeah, it's starting to wear in. But I mean, for something, this is a Dodge Sprinter, that's a Mercedes, this is kind of unacceptable. So I'm just hoping it's because it's just a more affordable part. I would try to shop around for something maybe a little more upscale. It might work a little better than this one. I'm going to spray a little bit in here and see if we can get it working a little smoother. Alright, so we put some lifting grease on here, but that works much smoother. So I'm going later on look into the power door locks. I think what happened is a lot of these fleet owners, they don't like the power door locks because they lock things up in the back of the van, and they're afraid that someone breaks the window, they can hit the door lock, unlock the back doors, and get into the back doors very easy. So a lot of these guys just pulls the fuses out on purpose so the electric door locks don't work. And I'm like 90% sure that's the case here. Alright, so we already put our panel back in. So we have to put this piece in place. So you put it behind the mechanism. Then you got to go underneath. You can see it's underneath there now. Goes underneath. Then you pull forward. Okay, so once you get that in place, you want to get this retention piece in there. Pulls right in there. Now, there's normally a plastic piece here that keeps this up in place, which I don't seem to see here. So I'm hoping we don't run into problems down the road with this popping out. So this should be about here. There we go. It clicks on. Okay, well, we go put the piece back on. See these clips? See these holes? You got clips here that just drops right down. So don't forget about your wiring. You get that on there, then you can lay this piece on there. Lifts up. Then it goes down. You got one screw there to replace, one screw there. You have your door lock one. I mean, you got your windows to put back in. Want to make sure we had the right side on the right side. So, if I had all the parts, I will put this piece back in, and this piece. It's not this one though. Guess I should have paid attention to which direction was in while I was talking to everybody. When they was taking him apart, he just broke on it.